Hey, so I'm Harpreet, and today I'm excited to show you a LP system that we have developed over the years that allows me to have warm conversations with my ideal investors that have helped me raise for my own crypto fund that I used to run a few years ago, and now for my clients. And they consistently now have an inflow of investors that commit them funds so they can only focus on the thing that they do best, which is running their fund, right? So in short, the LP system, which I'm going to talk about, consists of a few things, right? And the first thing is to figuring out your ideal investor type, right? Your ideal investor type. And these are simply investors that commits the most fund while they are the easiest to close. Like the conversation are the smoothest, right? Because they get your niche. If you're in real estate, you could be a hedge fund, whatever, right? It's relevant to what they're trying to do with their money, right? At the same time, they understand the thesis that you're presenting them. That would be ideal investor. For some, it could be single family offices. For some, it could be a pension fund. For some, it could be simply high net worth individuals. It doesn't matter. You all have to look through with the conversations you had, or simply if you have already committed money for your funds, what were the easiest conversations, right? And once you figure that out, like your ideal investor type, we move towards what I call simply reverse engineering, right? What you actually need to move a needle forward. Let's say you already have a fund that has $200 million. And for this year, you want to commit 120 million more, just for the ease of calculation, in 12 months. So ideally, you would require 10 million per month committed. Not in conversation, not in waitlist, but committed. That would actually move the needle. And if your ideal investor type, let's say in this case, is a multifamily office and you have a real estate fund, right? And they commit on an average 5 million, then you know that you need at least 2 multifamily office to commit every damn month, right? And in order for them to commit, you know, on an average, you require 5 to 6 conversation. By conversation, I mean could be a phone call, could be a Zoom meeting, could be an in-person meeting, but something that requires commitment from their end as well. It's not just a simple message, right? Every month, and you could easily then convert 2 LPs for your fund, and if it's consistent, then you'll raise $120 million. It's that simple, right? And once you have a clear plan, like now you have your ideal clients, investor type, and how much you need them, you have done like 80% of the work, which none of the GPs ever do, right? Because they don't think that like that, because they're not built to, and which is completely fine. But yeah, just think. And once you figure that out, the next is a core conversation, so that whenever you get in front of ideal investors, again, in this case, multifamily office, what is your messaging or offer positioning? But either way, in 2 or 3 minutes, they know exactly if this fund would be relevant to them or not, right? Because some multifamily office just loves real estate, but some only prefer equities or other alternative investments, and that's completely fine again, right? But you have to have a clear offer so that once you present to them, they know exactly. And how I do it for me and my clients is I tell them to think in terms of ROI. Like, they don't care about how you do it. It's more about how will you make them money and how much will that be, right? That's more important. Or in some cases, how would you conserve the money that they already have? How would you help them beat the inflation while keeping the risk to very minimal, right? So it's either ROI or money protection. Let's make, right? So once an investor sees this, they now know if this is relevant to them based on the ROI, the risk protection, what are their needs, and everything, right? And once they have that, the second question they'll ask you is why you, because there are multiple GPs that could be doing the same thing, right? And most of the cases there are multiple uh, GPs, but why would they choose you in this case? Then you'll tell about your experience, and the most important, your past record. Could be of your fund, that's the most easiest, of course. If you have a successful fund, then it's the easiest, of course. But if not, then your past record of why you would win is super relevant too. And then the third thing would be why now. A lot of GPs skip this, but in my opinion, it's the most important, because you could be super relevant, your thesis could be super relevant, but if your ideal investors think that they can wait for you to see the results, or they could wait for LPs to commit, then you're going to have a hard time to have real commitments of the funds, right? So it's super important of why now, why your thesis requires the capital and commitment from them now, so you can move forward, right? And these are the three things in the messaging. And once you have figured out how many ideal investors you need, and your core offer or messaging is done, then you can simply go out in the market, either cold email or the connections that you already have, reach out to them, and then just simply close them. But if you don't have experience, or your connections are limited and now you want to go past it, then we help you do that, because as I said, this is just an overview of the things that we do for you on your behalf, wherein we simply go out in the market and the connections that we've already built, or we have some partners that already have those connections, then we figure out that is your thesis relevant to them, and if so, what we do is simply we make a warm conversation with you and them, so that you simply have to either hop on a call or meet in person. Either way, both of the parties are already expecting to see each other, they know why they're coming, and you just have to close them. As I said, like, you have to show them the ROI, you have to show them why now, and then you can reach your goals. And I hope this video gave you a better clarity as to how you genuinely can build a system for you that consistently brings you in front of these people, so that all you can do is focus on running your fund and making as much